DJ, hello from a very cold, dark, grey London. It seems a real contrast to the weather we had just over a month ago in Hong Kong and Chinese mainland, and it was a real blur. We travelled on virtually every kind of transport, and we walked about 30,000 steps a day, and we took a lot of photographs. Star Ferry, I think I agree, you did win that one. The panorama was great. The shot I liked most though was the one of the traditional sailing boat with the modern buildings either side. It was, to me, just a lovely, clear, clean, graphic picture. For the trams, I probably had a bit of an advantage there with a full frame sensor there, so I was getting sharper pictures. And the two that I liked of mine were the one with the stationary tram and the buses blurred either side, and the chap in the front of the tram. Is quite a claustrophobic shot. He's jammed up against the window. There are modern buildings either side of him, and it's very condensed Hong Kong. Let's not forget that. And I thought that represented it quite well. I was busy taking photos of the surfers. But actually, let's face it, those surfers could have been anywhere. It could have been Hawaii, it could have even have been in the UK on a sunny day. And so I rather missed out on some of the other opportunities there. I got some nice pictures. There's a nice picture of a rather grumpy lady playing cards. I think she was probably losing against her competition. And some jellyfish drying out in the on the table. But DJ, again, you got some fantastic pictures, and it really showed the power of the smartphone. The crystal clear capture of the water smashing against the rock, and one that you did show, but I don't think people would necessarily realise, was the divers with they had their straw hats on. I was transfixed with the harbour. I thought it was absolutely stunning. And again, some real contrasts here. We had the very small fishing boats, and my personal favourite picture of mine from that day was the old man lifting up a line. He thinks he's got a fish attached. He's wearing a straw hat. My favourite picture of yours, actually, DJ, you rather skimmed through it when we looked through the pictures. I loved the lady sitting in front of her stall selling her fish early in the morning. So that was great, really enjoyed that. And then in the afternoon, you succumbed to my request to go up to the peak. I was lucky on two accounts. One was that I went for a little wander whilst you were sitting up looking over the peak, and I turned a corner and found the sun setting over the islands, and that was a real joy to see. And then when I came back, I also had the same advantages I had with the trams, in that my DSLR cameras came into their own with the ability to shoot in low light. In the morning, we went to the walled city, and it is absolutely beautiful. As we walked round, I took photos of some of the stall holders. My favourite is an older man who's fast asleep. He does wake up, and he lets me take a few pictures of him. And DJ, your umbrellas, yeah, you absolutely nailed that. It's interesting, I took the same picture of the umbrellas as you pointed out in the film, but I prefer your one. And then in the afternoon, we went to the Seven Stars Park with beautiful lakes and the Karst Mountains. I was keen to get the trees growing out of the water, which took lots of photos of those and struggled actually with those pictures. And we ended up at the end of the day having climbed one of the peaks and got right to the very top. You got your drone up there, the pictures are amazing, and I took some panoramic pictures of the Karst Mountains and the lakes and the rivers, and it's just stunningly beautiful. And just when you think it can't get any better, you come back down from the peak, and there we found man-made structures, the temples and the pagodas, all lit up beautifully, and indeed the Karst Mountain, the peak that we just climbed up, lit up beautifully. DJ, I loved a picture as we were walking out of the park. There was a chap just having his dinner with his chopsticks. You snapped one of him, and again, the power of the smartphone in that very low light. And yeah, it was a lovely end to the day as we walked back to the car. You had suggested that we go down to the river at dawn. I wasn't that convinced. I couldn't quite see what the appeal would be of doing that. We got down to the river. The sun has not yet risen, but it's light. And as the sun rose, so came the older and younger people doing their exercises. I was lucky enough, I think you'd left DJ, they brought their swords out, which was silhouetted against a rising sun, was magical, and I felt very blessed to be there. I should just point out, of one of my favourite pictures of the entire trip was actually taken that morning. It's not mine, it's one of yours, DJ. It's from the drone, and you're way high above the river, and I called it rush hour with all these ships navigating up the river. But there's a particularly lovely shot that you're taken with the drone where the mist is coming in. Then in the afternoon we jumped in the car and we went out to the Octagon Village. Now, as DJ rightly pointed out, he had a real advantage here. Up goes the drone and you get this magnificent shot. After the Octagon Village, we went to another village and walked out into the country where we were lucky enough to meet very typically friendly Chinese people, in this case some farmers. And what I suddenly realised was that we'd been in Hong Kong, we'd been in Chongqing, and here we are in the middle of nowhere in this beautiful rural environment with these incredibly friendly people. And the next thing I knew, we were back on the bullet train heading back to Hong Kong. So DJ, I'm going to finish now and just say I'd love to challenge you again, although I do that nervously because I reckon the pace at which technology is moving, I probably won't have need to carry around a big old camera bag with camera bodies and lenses, because it's all going one way. It's getting smaller and smaller, and it was a real eye-opener for me. And so on that note, I'm just going to say thank you so much again. It really was a fantastic trip. I'll try and beat you next time. All the best. Bye now.